Welcome to Order in Chaos, episode 5. Today we are talking about single solution providers versus full service consultancies and agencies. So the first question, when business owners they want to carry out their marketing and branding, how do they know if they should hire in-house or they should approach an external agency?
Okay, so branding must be an external agency, right? Unless you are opening a branding agency, that's when you can do it your branding in-house. You get what I mean? Because not gonna be like it's gonna be a one-off thing. It's best to get an expert, right? So when we talk about marketing, right? Marketing when it comes to it depends on your firstly your product also, lah, right? If your product is very complicated, you definitely need an agency. Like in terms of your sales funnel. If your sales funnel is very complicated, it requires a agency to thoroughly understand terms of omni-channel. Omni-channel, for those who don't know, it means that both offline and online presence. Because in order to convert a client from the point that they know you into an actual customer, right, you require minimum of 7 touch points. So we talk about the pros and cons of in-house and agency first, right? So in-house. For in-house, for small teams, right, don't go looking for agency. Right? Do not outsource your marketing to agency. Trust me, because when you get in-house, right, it's an investment. Because the person will only get better, right, for your specific company. Because he is tested, and he or she retains the knowledge of doing it for your company. Whereas if your budget is low and you go to an agency, I mean, the reality is that you wouldn't be prioritized. That's one thing, right? Secondly, is that the solutions they can offer you is very limited because they have a profit margin to make. They have overheads, they have staff salaries, right? So little things that they can do. So this is my personal thing. And also don't go to a freelancer because freelancers similarly with an agency, right? They are taking on multiple clients. They are not focus just your company, right? But hiring in-house, what you should be looking out for, I think that's the most important thing. But because the cons of hiring in-house is that if the person has no experience, it's gonna be a waste on the first 3 months of probation period. Like,
Or the business owner has no experience if they just want an in-house but they don't know what exactly they want that in-house to achieve. Yeah.
So I think okay, so what to look out for, right? Is that for business owners, you must first understand that you always start with your market research skills. So I'm not talking about like doing simple demographic analysis by age group, by gender, so like male or female, or by like very basic things. No, those are too basic already. Like it's not that won't get you anywhere, right? If you try it previously before the Andromeda update, right, for Meta, you could select the demographic thing,
Yeah.
right? Use iPhone or Samsung user or that kind of thing. Now there's no need for this nonsense really. It depends entirely on your copy. This for those who don't know, lah, right? If you're running ads now, right, there's no need to go and do your segmentation. They'll automatically target. They do smart targeting based on the copy itself. So the imagery, the copy itself, right? So your meaning that your in-house must be even better now. What do I mean? Meaning that when you're doing your, of course, you still must manually do your market research lah. It's not like you just don't do anything, right? So meaning that your in-house must be able to identify sub target audience based on a combination of demographic, psychographic, behavioral. So I think I can give you a case study we just did. We did it for a maternity brand, right? So we just had a maternity brand, right? And they were targeting new parents, like first time parents, right? So the target audience they gave us were first time parents, and we felt that that wasn't it's too broad, it's too big target audience, and it is not representative of their product because they were more into the upper middle.
Yeah.
So we've identified certain subgroups for them, meaning right first time parents, but one subgroup is that dual income working parents, right, who do not have the time or the mental capacity as much as we all know children are your bundles of joy. But the reality is if both parents are tired, we just want to make our life easier so that we can spend more time loving the child that to clean up the mess lah. I don't know if some parents I prefer like to clean up mess. They feel that it's part of the journey. Then I mean like okay, good for you lah. But they are not part of that group, right? So there's some group that we identified. One of them is the low income exhausted parents, right? We listed out very specific characteristics, right? So, like for example, working from what time to what time, right? They are free from what time to what time. What do they want to do the first thing they reach home from work? So all this kind of thing is that's your market research. Second group of target audience were helicopter parents, parents who are, I mean, it's their firstborn. So I understand there's different type of people where they are very
Over
micromanaging, kind
yeah,
of concept, right? They are very overzealous about their child's well-being or
overly proactive
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
protective.
So that was the second group we identified. Even for this, the same what people perceive to be the same demographic, right? We actually have different copies, right? Specifically targeting this particular group. So I think that's when you're looking in-house, right? What you can consider doing is that you give them a certain predefined kind of you just narrow it down and then try and give the viewees a predefined area to work with, right? With a certain product, and then ask them to sort of give you the target demographic. And then that's when you can view that naturally eliminates a lot of people. Trust me. Right. So MR is one thing. Second thing is whether the person is proficient. There's a difference between proficiency, meaning that knowing how to use softwares and being proficient in it. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of people confuse these two, and a lot of people like to. I think we mentioned it about inflating
Creating
their
their resume.
resume, right? They just because they have actually like tested it out, know which button
They
is
know
where.
about the functions doesn't
Yeah.
mean they know the functions.
Yeah, so I think a lot of I mean there's a lot of people out there that are like that lah, right? So that's the one thing is you must really, I mean it's of course the best, right? As we what we've done with at Chaos, right? Is we actually the person must have portfolio lah,
Yeah.
right? And also I mean of course you as the founder, you cannot be sitting on the ass and just say, oh, I just want to do product design, I just want to. I mean you are a business owner, you're not an employee. So you cannot have like a I just want to do X and nothing else kind of mindset, right? So as a business owner, what do you have to do? You need to be at least familiar. You might not be an expert in it, but you must be familiar in the different marketing tools.
Yeah.
Right. So at least you know, like you have gone into ad manager, for example. You know how to search for ad library, right? For example, you as a business owner, you must have an understanding, and so that you're able to evaluate the person that's incumbent is has the right skills for you.
Yeah.
Right? I think a lot of people are subjected to the Dunning Kruger, where just because they started learning something, they think they
They
are
think they know a lot about it.
yeah compared to when they were nobody. But then as the more they learn, they are afraid to proceed further because the more they know, they
Realize they don't know.
yeah. I think that's a lot of people are subjected to that. So that's the in-house side of things. As for agency, or I would say there's mostly two types of agency, right?
First one is a single solution provider.
Then the second one
The
is
second
full
one
service.
is full service consultant.
Okay, so for single service, they are cheaper, right? But they are providing you a single solution, meaning that they would not help you think of. I always use this word discretionary effort, right? They would not put in the discretionary effort other than, let's say, if you ask me to do like step one, get me on the first page of Google for the following keywords. Yeah, they'll help you do that. They are very good in doing that. Lah.
And
But
just that.
and just that. Lah. And you need to know what words you actually want to rank for. How would you know?
Which they won't help you think.
Yeah, they won't help you think. They will give you suggestions, right? Let's say if you are a publishing company, right? They'll say, oh, book publisher, then if that's what you want to rank for. But do you know yourself well to the extent that
You know that
no.
being ranked for book publisher is the best for your own company.
Yeah. Because for all you know, right, people don't see you as a book publishing company.
Yeah.
They see you as a PR company. They see you as a publicity company. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's the one thing. Like, okay, so of course for mature companies, right, that already have an in-house team or that have done their business long enough to know exactly what they stand for, who's their target audience, what works, what doesn't, right? Go for a single service because you already know what you want.
Yeah, they're
right?
already established to some extent.
Yeah, you as the founder, you also know what works. Your CMO knows what works.
Yeah.
Right. So then go for a single service provider so that they can just help you do that one thing.
And it
Right.
could be at a lower cost also.
Yeah, at a lower cost. I think that's the main point. If you don't know what you want, that's where the full service consultancy comes in. Right. Consultants are not I mean, it's a word being thrown around.
It's quite a dirty word nowadays.
Yeah. It's like it's a so a lot of people assume that consultancy, especially in the agency field, right, it's just coming up with what's a mix and match. It's like the a la carte. You try and smash everything together to become a set menu like that. You know, like so. Let's say a lot of people. Let's say you have your drinks menu, right? I mean, if you imagine the F&B field, right? So drinks menu, you have your a list of drinks, you have your list of mains, and your list of appetizers, right? A lot of people assume that consultancy is just choosing one appetizer, one main, and one drink, and then calling it consultancy just because I serve it as a meal. It's not. Actual consultancy is you giving me the ingredients. I try and think of what I can cook for you that harmonizes, that comes together as a complete meal. And the concept of just out meaning that the sum of the whole is greater than the sum of the parts individually. Similarly, in real consultancy is when, let's say for us, we help you think, come up with a solution that is the solution is not what do you call it? Drag and drop kind of solution.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just, oh, you come to me, you tell me you have this problem, I'll just advise you on just run ads, just do SEO, just post content. No. We tell you exactly what kind of food service will actually tell you what kind of content you should be posting, right? We actually do the research for you and also do the co-creation. So like it's really full service lah, and the whole concept of full service lah, right? We start from start to the end. And we also provide a very different solution that you wouldn't, I mean, a very different marketing campaigns that you wouldn't know because you have not been in the field, you have not
You have enough exposure.
yeah. You're not actively in the field. For example, for us we in Singapore, right? Have you seen recently the Thai insurance ad where they not insurance, it's like the against drink driving ad. Usually in Singapore, right, it's very like fear inducing. It's very dark, right? The theme is very dark. So in Thailand, right, there was this advertisement where the guy was I mean he was drunk, then he was riding his motorbike. Then behind there were all his family members, right, pulling on a like a wall rope there. Then after that they will say like don't go, right? Don't then start when he revved his bike, right, he just dragged the whole family straight into the moratorium, the cemetery thing.
Oh.
Yeah, like the
Crematorium.
yeah, crematorium. then zoom, then it ends. Then that is like don't drink and drive kind of thing. Like in Thai's way of advertising, right? They add a very funny twist where it's more memorable. So it's like when to use reverse marketing, right? So reverse as per what people will assume in your industry. But of course, certain countries have like very strict censorship. So I understand certain countries are very hard to be creative in that sense. But your solution provider can be very creative as well. It doesn't have to be just out of home ads, meaning that in Singapore especially, I remember I saw one ad at the MRT station, right? So normal people, normal companies, what would they do? Right? They would just create a very professional looking ad to put on the because it's not cheap like those MRT ads is not cheap
placements.
yeah, the placement is not cheap. The OH placement is insanely expensive. So but this company they had the balls right? So what they did was they do a screenshot of the like WhatsApp conversation and just use that as a ad. So they say like, can you help me create an ad? Like it was like as if it was a message to the marketing person. Can you help me create an ad? Then after that, what information do you want to be on the ad? Then he just list the information. Then he's like, okay. Then after that, make it like minimalist. That was ad.
This is quite creative.
So you can be in that sense, but the thing is, you must have exposure to industry. Like just like for me, I'm reading about guerrilla marketing. I'm reading about all kinds of advertising. I mean, marketing is the big umbrella, right? But then there's advertising, there is branding, there is SEO, SEM, social media. Like all of this, right? Like this is something that we are exposed to every single day. That's why we have the ability to connect the dots on what might potentially work for you based on what we have seen around the world. I think that's the one thing that we would like to bring forward as for what consultancy really entails. So it's not just drag and drop solutions, right? To sum it up, it's not just drag and drop solutions, but you providing me with the raw materials and I creating something that is more than the value that of them individually and provide it to you. I think that's the one thing that we aspire to do here at Chaos.
Alright, I think that wraps up episode 5 of Order in Chaos. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one.